I've always enjoyed Black Clover. I loved reading the manga and I even enjoyed the anime with all the hate it got during its initial release. Black Clover is a manga written by Yuki Tabata. It is published in Weekly Shonen Jump and is what I believe to be one of the most underrated new-gen shonen. Welcome to the Ablaze Monkey YouTube channel. This is a channel where I will now be covering Black Clover content. I already currently cover Dragon Ball content, so if you're interested in that, you can go check that out. But I will now be bringing in a new audience by talking about Black Clover and possibly even other anime. I want to do a lot of new content, so if this video does do well, I will start doing weekly Black Clover arc reviews where I review every arc in the show from start to finish. Yes, I will go through chapter 1 to 300 arc by arc, as well as episode 1 to 170, covering everything and giving an in-depth analysis. I may even do a few character reviews where I may go over certain characters in their own particular video. So, if you want to see me cover every arc in Black Clover in order, and if you want to see me do videos on particular characters like Noelle or Asta, get this video to, let's say, 100 likes. Make sure you also subscribe with post notifications on so you know when I upload. But with all that said, let's get straight into this video. Since the beginning of its initial release, Black Clover has been undermined as being a Naruto copy, and basically just copying everything and plagiarizing everything, being completely unoriginal. It was bashed and criticized, especially throughout the first few episodes of its release. One of the main complaints was the main character, Asta. He had a very loud voice, making it unbearable for some people to get past the first few episodes. This was a major turn-off for many people, so they didn't really want to watch the show, which is a shame since a lot of people missed out. If you read the manga like me though, this wasn't an issue. I also watched the anime and dubbed, and it seemed like they learned their lesson from the sub because I didn't have any issues with Asta's voice. The show endured a lot of hate, and it still even receives a fair amount today, but even so it kept pushing. Black Clover was animated by the same studio that produced Naruto, and they went for a more traditional route with this series. Instead of being seasonal like the majority of new-gen shonen today, it was a long-running show, which means animation was not as good as other shows and it was lacking in the beginning, especially throughout the first few episodes, which is where it got the majority of its hate. Of course it wasn't. It was a weekly long-running show with weekly episodes, which means it had much less of a budget as opposed to some of the bigger shonen at the time. Black Clover, however, has so many elements and so many interesting things that many other new-gen shonen today lack. Giving a quick spoiler warning here, but one of my favourite fights in the show is Asta, Vanessa and Finral against Veto. The reason being is Vanessa and Finral don't really have the best abilities for combat, and we had never seen them fight up to this point. Asta actually relies on them here, and he works together with them and acknowledges he couldn't have beat Veto alone, he couldn't have beat him without them. And another great part from this fight is there are actually repercussions from this fight, and Asta gains severe damage to his arms, which is something that has been happening a lot more in more recent shonen. Characters actually suffering from their actions. Another thing that I think makes Black Clover work so well is the foreshadowing. Now, this is something that not many people talk about, but if you reread all of Black Clover for a second time, there is so much foreshadowing, especially at the beginning, which nobody picks up on, which is expertly put in by Tabata, and I think it's a shame it gets unnoticed. To give an example, in chapter 46, page 9, Ratri deliberately misses when he attacks Ghosh, stating he doesn't want to hurt any of his vital organs. He also states again in chapter 51 he doesn't want to hurt Ghosh. I guarantee you the majority of people missed this and at the time probably just brushed this off. However, this is genius from the author because we later find out that Ghosh is one of the people who is reincarnated into an elf, making perfect sense for that scene, with them not wanting to injure him. So there would be no issues with his reincarnation as an elf. One of the other things that Tabata does so well is flesh out the side characters. One of the main shows I cover on my channel is Dragon Ball, and in Dragon Ball Super especially, it really becomes the Goku and Vegeta show. It's just the main characters, and it completely ignores the side characters. It gives them a few moments, but it's basically just Goku and Vegeta majority of the time. Black Clover is the complete opposite. Even with the wide cast of characters, Tabata still manages to give them their individual moments, each and every member of the cast likeable as they develop throughout the series, making many side characters actually enjoyable to watch on screen with you actually liking their characters, with everything not being solely focused around Asta, the main character. Black Clover does an expert job of developing its side characters too, and in my opinion has the best current female lead in any shonen. I'm sorry, but get your Sakuras and Urarakas out of here, man. Noelle is one of the best females in, dare I say, all of Shonen Jump. I don't want to spoil anything, but her character development, especially in the latest chapters, has been a treat to see. I love watching Noelle on screen. She has just some of the best character development I've seen from any female shonen. I definitely want to go into her character more later down the line, but I think that needs its own video. The antagonists in Black Clover 2 are also really well written, and in my opinion, it has some of the most well written antagonists in the entire show, especially around episode 90 to 120. Partry is one of the best villains I've ever seen. I'm pretty sure he's the best written character in the entire show, and Tabata is so good at putting in so much symbolism into the show, and he uses a lot of lore, especially in the Dark Triad arc. He uses a lot of symbolism and other things from other mythologies and religions to really flesh out the story, which, you know, it's interesting to look at if you do research into it. I could go on for hours about this, but I think I'll wait until more arc reviews to actually go in depth into all the mythology and things that Tabata takes from and all the demonology he looks at. Black Clover is a weekly manga, which is difficult for many mangakas and can be extremely detrimental toward an author's health, and Tabata has been known to suffer quite a bit trying to meet deadlines. Now, keeping this in mind, Black Clover has some of the best art I've ever seen. It's even better than most monthly manga, and it's weekly. It has some amazing treats to look at. It's just incredible. The drawings are incredible. I mean, this is some top tier godly art, man. Tabata don't miss. For me, Black Clover's art has always been a 10 out of 10. It deserves so much praise. Tabata is so talented, and I wish more people would talk about the art. Now, to look at the basic story of Black Clover and to wrap this video up in a nice neat bow, Black Clover from the beginning started off with a very basic plot. It has a lot of cliches, don't get me wrong, but these seem to just fit in well. And it does seem like a Naruto copy at the beginning, but the pacing in it makes it so you just want to keep watching so you can finish the entire show in a week if you are like me in lockdown and don't have a life. So yeah, it can be cliche at times, but man, Black Clover is the only show to genuinely get me hyped at the end of an arc. I mean, wow, it's just the beauty of a shonen. Black Clover, you know, it has got its cliches, you know, sometimes the characters do suffer from always having the same tropes, but I truly do think Black Clover is one of the best new-gen shonens today. If you haven't already checked it out, please do. There's so much more to it than what I covered in just this video alone, and I'm hoping this will attract some new viewers to my channel. This was a short video. It was just me telling you why I think Black Clover works so well, giving some of the pros and cons to it. So like I said before, if you want me to cover every arc and review the entire show, please comment down below. Leave a like as well. Leave me a subscribe with post notifications on, join my Discord server, go follow my Twitter because I will be active on there. The Discord link will be in the comments. But with all that said, I hope to see you all in my arc reviews. Hopefully this video will do well, so I will see you all in my next video. Laters!